Crew have been playing very good lately, so we'll have to see.
Well, here we go then. It's the Super Hot Crew versus Fnatic, and we'll see if the Super Hot Crew can keep on this great run of form that they've had, actually. Obviously, won the last 3 games. They only, in fact, lost 1 game in the last 6, so that just shows you how well they're doing right now. Fnatic, well, we all know. Different side of the coin for them. 0 for 5 in a row. They went 7-0 at the start of the season. This week is actually a chance to even that all back up, depending on how things go for them. But let's have a quick run through the lanes here, because we've got some, mostly one new thing coming in from this one, a lane that we don't see too often. Draven Morgana against Siva Leona.
Yes, it should be more or less a farm-based lane, because Draven, in the first few levels, is actually not that strong. He wants to get his stacks going, he wants to more or less hit the point where he can go back, buy a BF sword, and then return to lane, and then he really starts bringing down the damage. So I expect it to be fairly passive lane, especially because Morgana and Leona are not exactly support who sets up a lot of kills early, and they don't rely too much on a heavy poke. Morgana is more or less just hitting a bind and then start auto-attacking.
In that mid lane, we have Gragas at Ahri, which, now, while not being so popular, I think we can safely say here in Season 4, in Season 3, especially the last half, I think, of Season 3, that was a almost daily occurrence, the Gragas versus Ahri.
Yeah, so the thing with the Ahri-Gragas matchup is that it's very hard for Gragas to ever get in a position to kill Ahri. Due to her free jumps on ultimate, it's very hard for him to land all his spells. And in Pega, he should be focusing a lot on harassing early. There was some changes to Ahri not too long ago, where she got a bit more mana back in lane, so he can put more focus on hitting Gragas, more focus on punching. And oh, they're actually going in for this blue buff.
Oh, Dark Binding actually going straight down the middle though, Soaz just getting himself away from that, but they're going to keep the pressure up here of the Super Hot Crew. I don't think they can necessarily stick around and challenge too long, but they are at least going to run some wicked interference here. Soaz actually getting binded in there, few auto attacks coming out from Mixer as well, and we can see there the blue buff down into half HP, and there is a smite away. Cyanide will take that one. Over the other side of the map, the blue buff was actually taken by Impaler.
Yeah, and at the same time though, lane swap. Fnatic, they don't want to do this 2v2 scenario against the Draven Morgana because they don't feel they have a chance to ever get onto them with the black shield, and they feel afraid they're just going to get poked down more or less by Draven. So decide to swap away. It means Draven will have a lot of free farm here in the start where he can get his stacks going, and if he can manage to pick up a kill after picking up some stacks, he can really get going.
So what about this top lane then? Well, I say the top lane because we've got those lane swaps coming in. 2v1 in both the top and bottom side with Shen and Renekton in that one. Mima, for me, is a player that excels when he's in a 1v1 scenario on a big tanky champion. He also seems to buckle a little bit under pressure, and that's possibly what this 2v1 could give him.
It could be one of the reasons. Fnatic have to be really careful though, because Renekton is very strong in 1v2 scenarios, because he can double dash in and stun one of you, and then the jungler joins in, and you have this 2v2 where you're more or less shut down from the start. So Fnatic have to be very careful. They have to keep the wards up and make sure the Impaler isn't there to punish them. Shen, he's just very good at farming on the turret, and he's very safe, but he can't really set up too many kills. He can taunt under the turret.
Yeah, we see the taunt there coming in, actually landing onto Mixer, and he's taken maybe a little bit too much damage there. There was a couple of turret hits coming in, causing him a few problems, but he should be pretty safe actually from that one. No jungler in the immediate area there. You see Vi actually coming down to that bottom side of the map. Super Hot Crew keep pushing.
Yeah, look how much damage they already got on this turret. Up in the top lane, Impaler's joining in there. He wants to make sure that if something should happen, he's there to help out Mimir. But Fnatic, they're not even pushing the top lane. They're not even trying to go for this turret. Down in bot lane instead, Draven and Morgana just constantly smashing away on the turret, and they can actually take it down very soon.
Top lane, Impaler just came in there, but they did ping him out, so they know that Impaler is up there with them. I'm not sure that Reckless and Yellow Star will want to get into any kind of fight here, but they know that, you know, they can hold this turret back down. There's no way that they should be thinking about going in on towards Yellow Star under the turret at this time, but they're putting as much damage in as they can. Meanwhile, Cyanide, seeing that Impaler's in the top lane, comes straight down into the enemy jungle.
So they want to try and set up something down here in the bot lane. If they can land a taunt from Source, he is having Ignite, so they have some good damage. And Cyanide, if he can join in, he's completely unnoticed at the point. If he can actually get onto them, they might be able to pick up a kill.
Will they be able to get around from this one? He does come in the backside. There's the taunt landing. Soaz going to do some good damage here to Mixer. The Ignite is down, and there is Vi jumping in, and there is the first blood coming out for Cyanide. Mr. Ra's not going to fall from this one. Fnatic back away. Nice first blood though.
A very nice gank by Cyanide. He moves all the way around, completely unnoticed, and then Source can just land an easy taunt and get the kill. And wisely enough by Mixer, he didn't use his flash. He knew he was dead already.
So Impaler here moving his way through onto those Wraiths. Will he come into that mid lane? Ari at this point is still level 5, so doesn't have the ultimate to actually get away from things if Peke were to push a little bit too far down that lane. And in fact, Impaler is going to be coming around that backside, but Peke has already backed away, and I don't think he's in any danger.
No, Peke is in a good position. He can easily flash through the turret if needed, and Impaler coming in.
There is the stun coming down, Spear as well, but as predicted there, Peke able to just walk away. He was far enough back. Moops wasn't close enough up there, and of course, Moops not having level 6 either, wasn't able to get in there and bring him back in for what would have been possibly an easier kill if that would have been the case, but also, I guess we could say Peke would have been 6 as well and would have been able to escape.
And we actually have to really notice once Peke and Cyanide both have level 6, what they can set up, because they have such a good pick combo with Vi choosing the target, then follow up by Peke, who can land a very easy charm and do his full burst onto whoever Cyanide is locking down. So the pick combo, especially also with the Sivir once we get later into the game, is very scary for Fnatic, and Supa really has to be careful they're not stepping out of their comfort zone.
And speaking of Fnatic, they are finally pushing this top wave out and are going to do some damage on towards that turret. Yellow Star going to be the focus underneath that tower. We can see that Reckless actually just pulling the aggro, taking a single turret hit, which won't bother him too much in this early stage of things. He is currently ahead, by the way, in CS over Mr. Rolls. Soaz has just TP'd. He's going to recall back in that bottom lane, so we'll see if that allows this turret to actually finally be pushed down for them. Fnatic, as I said, though, keep up that pressure. They're going to try and level things out there.
They're trying now to make sure they're actually going for the dive.
Yeah, they're going in for the dive on Mima. He's going to dash away, but there's the Zenith Blade landing. Mima flashing straight away afterwards, and it's going to be up to Yellow Star, who of course doesn't have the damage. Mima gets away. Soaz is there, though. That might open up this turret.
Yeah, and Supa crew are instantly moving for the dragon. They know there's multiple people from Fnatic in the top lane. They should be able to figure it out. Now going on to move.
Oh, they're going in towards Moops, but he will throw the barrel down. That's knocking Peke straight out of there. This dragon is going to be secured. It's going down actually really, really slowly at the moment for the Super Hot crew. Meanwhile, Soaz pushing this top turret. They're going to be able to steal away the blue buff as well. So
the only thing Fnatic actually gained on this at the moment was the blue buff. They didn't get the kill on Mimir, he managed to escape. They lost the bot turret, and now also the dragon. And Supa crew is simply going to say, you know what, we'll just take your blue buff.
Yep, you stole our blue buff, so I will be taking yours as well. However, Cyanide is waiting just off at the backside. Not going to matter though, my Impaler will actually do the damage there. And the blue buff was, in fact, picked up by Mima. So, all good on that front. That leaves us with, right now, just 100, or 150, 200 gold separating these two teams. Very, very close at this point. Super Hot crew, of course, with that first turret of the game down bottom.
And now we just have to keep an eye on how Supa crew wants to play this bot lane. The turret is gone from Fnatic's side, so if they decide to push it out, they're in a very risky situation where they can actually be ganked very easily by Cyanide and maybe also Peke roaming down. So we need to see if they just want to shove it out a little bit and then maybe rotate to the mid lane.
Impaler doing his red as well. We'll see if he actually gets involved anywhere. We've not seen him use that Grand Skyfall yet, just hitting that level 6 point. So we'll see if he actually gets involved anywhere around the map after this one. Peke, of course, after that early gank attempt from Impaler, is already past his level 6 point, so he'll be feeling a little bit safer or a little bit more daring maybe should things become aggressive for them.
Yeah, we really have to keep an eye on Cyanide, where he's going and when he's going to pop his ultimate. If Peke is nearby, he can follow up on it as we talked about before, and they can really set up some fairly easy kills, and they need Peke to get the early kills. They need to get him rolling so this pick comp can really work.
Cyanide here is sneaking up towards this top lane. Should be able to get into that brush without being spotted. And Mima is still hanging around, but we'll see about that one. Mima right now doesn't have a flash available to him, so obviously he used that earlier, getting away from that push in the top lane. And there we go, Assault and Battery comes down. Mima going to get taunted up as well. I'm not sure he'll escape from this one. Pops his dominance. There's a flash from Cyanide and finishes off with the second kill here for Fnatic.
And Cyanide is really doing work once again. He's being so aggressive. Second kill, he's doing the right ganks at the right time, and he's really using to his advantage the fact that they can set up these double CC ganks with the Shen up top lane or in the bot lane for the first blood.
Now let's have a look down at some of the CS here, and we can see that actually Reckless holding that advantage that he's got over Mr. Ross. Meanwhile, Moops going up to try and have a bit of a steal on those Wraiths. Peke pulls it into the brush and it actually resets itself there, and they're going to have a little tussle from this one. Moops, of course, got a ward down and had that vision of the big Wraith, but in the end, that doesn't really amount to anything. The farm, by the way, between them heavily in favor of Peke right now. It's 95 to 77.
And it's actually how it should be, due to the fact that Gragas have, Grand Skyfall missing. Is he going for him?
Yeah, actually, Mandrop coming in didn't really do a lot. Peke used one charge of his ultimate to get away and then laid down a good portion of damage on towards Impaler straight away after that. In the end, though, no kills coming in. So 10.5 minutes down in this game. We can see that Fnatic slightly edging out in the gold lead once again, but it's still only 250, 300 gold between them.
But back to the mid lane matchup, Peke is supposed to win this early because he's having the advantage that he can arrest from a distance, where Gragas has to go in and either wave clear or clear the minions with his Q, or then go in and simply auto attack it, and that means he can easily hit him. And now, sieging this mid turret from Supa Hot Crew's side.
Looking for the tower. Peke got hit by the Dark Binding in there. They've got 4 men in middle right now, Supa Hot Crew, but with those minions all starting to come in, they have to back away. They've spotted Yellow Star off to the side as well, and they know that a good solar flare might cause trouble for them. In the end, they just back away from that one. Reckless going back down this bottom lane. That's going to give him even more CS. He's going to hit 20 CS lead in just a second from this one. BF Sword for him. On the other side, actually, BF Sword for Mr. Rolls on Draven, along with a long sword, and both of them got that Doran's Blade in there from earlier as well. So at this point, still pretty passive, and we saw there with that middle turret push that neither team really wanted to be risking anything.
Yeah, it was more or less Supa Hot Crew not knowing what to do with their bot lane. They had to just move the mid lane because they couldn't push out bot further. Reckless, he more or less just stayed bot lane, farmed it out and shoved it into the turret, and then everything reset and nothing happened from it. The BF Sword on Draven means though, if there should be a fight in this bot lane, he will have a lot of damage. Now Silent coming in.
Gonna go on towards Mr. Ross, but he actually gets away. Black Shield stops that Assault and Battery, and the Solar Flare coming in, but they go in towards Mixer. Mandrop gonna come down. Mixer surely gonna die. Yellow Star has to flash in for it, and he's taking a lot of turret hits. Will be finished off there by Mr. Ross. That will be a 1-for-1 down bottom.
And Mixer is showing why Morgana support is so strong against this heavy engage combo from Fnatic. He managed to Black Shield everything, and now they're going on Peke.
There is the stun on towards Peke. Where's he going to go? The barrel missed, or really dodged there from Peke. I thought it might have come down earlier from Moops, but he was waiting until the stun from Pantheon ran out so that he could keep control. In the end, it cost them a kill. Supa Hot Crew moving with 2 men towards mid. They might have a good bit of damage onto the tower.
There's nobody from Fnatic nearby to try and defend this one. The nearest is Yellow Star. He's running all the way from the base and now teleporting in from Peke. Very smart, stopping the push.
TP straight in there. Nothing further to do here for the Supa Hot Crew, aside from Impaler going up towards the race and stealing away that big one before backing away, and in good time as well, because both Peke and Yellow Star had come around to defend those creeps. So let's have a look at the top lane here. Although it is a very, I think we can call it a stagnant top lane between Shen and Renekton. The farm pretty much bang on even. We see that both players moving up towards those Sunfire Caves.
The fact the farm is bang on even actually benefits both Fnatic and Source quite a lot, because he's going to be so tanky in the end on Shen, while Mimer, he's going to fall off to the late game, and in the end, you want to have this global pressure from Shen. You want to have this mega tank who can just taunt, or try at least to taunt Miseralis if there isn't a Black Shield, and then survive a lot of the damage and tank more or less the entire Supa Hot Crew team for as long as possible. So it benefits Fnatic quite a lot, the fact that Source is keeping up in farm.
Dragon is now live as well. We see the pink ward going down there, and Fnatic got positional advantage on this one, at least for now, with 3 men just hanging around. We can see the Impaler moving down. We'll see Mixer coming in here as well with that Morgana, and Moops will join in the party as well, as they do throw that Dark Binding out. No one actually hit by that one. In fact, Peke was just sat on the top side. They're trying to get rid of this pink ward, taking them a little while, but that will fall, and that will make them feel a lot safer with their vision already in place. There's the pink from Dragon. Supa Hot Crew starting off.
And now, we have ultimate ready on Source. He can join the fight whenever he wants to, if we see an engagement from Fnatic. They might be going in.
Oh, the charm actually landed on towards Mimer. He pops his dominance, but they've gone in on towards Cyanide. Will he go down? Yes, he will. And now they push forward for even more. Mimer actually has to back away. Dragon didn't go down. Moop's actually going to take a lot of damage. Peke uses one more charge. The orb goes through, catches him with the true damage on the way back. And that is a 3-for-1 here for Fnatic. And he opens up the Dragon.
It was a kill though for Draven. He managed to get some gold from his Adoration stacks, and that's what he needs. He already picked up the Bloodthirster, and the more kills he can keep on, if he can keep farming and keep getting kills, he will be so strong in the end and might even be able to carry Supa Hot Crew. But they need to make sure he's not picking up more kills. This time around, they didn't focus him down, but they still won the fight.
Oh, the big boomerang coming in there from Reckless, though, underneath that tower causing some problems, and Soaz, who must have enough gold at this point now for that Sunfire Cape to be actually finished off. He's going to become a bit of a nuisance in this top lane. Obviously, it's going to be Pantheon really that stops him from doing that, that actually pushes in, you know, and comes out with the Grand Skyfall, but he can't go fully globally on that one. Global E. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think we actually didn't touch about at all the fact that when Pekka used his teleport in the mid lane, they gave up some of the pressure. Now they're actually starting a dragon once again. Will Subaru try and stop this one?
Well, just by being there right now, it seems they've managed to stop that one from happening. Fnatic back away in towards that blue off, but Super Hot Crew didn't have a full team there. They do now, actually. 3 of them coming up from that bottom side. Oh, 2 of them because Renekton's here on that turret with Mima. Fnatic actually playing this one pretty wisely. In fact, they've managed to get the taunt down on towards Impaler. Barrel comes out from Gragas. That stopped things happening.
Well, Black Shield is down now, so if Fnatic wants to engage, this is the time for them. Sanet is not having his ultimate ready though, so they want to wait for this one.
Oh, Dark Binding goes on towards Yellow Star, but is he really the target that you want to jump in there and completely take out? He'd probably get a Solar Flare off before he went down, and you could argue with that. He'd probably done his job either way, and both teams here just lining up in middle. Bit of a showdown.
Bit of a showdown. Nobody really wants to engage here. It's a bit too close to the turret for both teams to actually do something. Fnatic, they have the advantage engage-wise, because Super Crew, they rely on the fact that Pantheon can jump in and actually land his ultimate on certain people and then stun someone up, and then the rest of Super Crew can follow up.
Look, Fnatic have now pushed that mid wave out, and they're going to head down towards the Dragon Pit once again. Super Hot Crew already following them down there. See the tanks at the front of things. Yellow Star will stick in at the front as well. How's this going to get started?
There's some very good ward coverage though from Super Hot Crew. They want to make sure they always know where Pekka is when the fight starts. If he can actually get around on flank and try and hit Mr. Alice from the side, it's going to be very hard for Super Hot Crew to do anything about it. So they're very nice ward coverage, and it means they're fairly safe to move in and start a fight.
Dragon is going to get started off here by Fnatic. We can see how cautious they're playing this one. Soa's actually stood on top of a wall. They land in, they taunt on towards Mima. Here comes a man drop from Pantheon at the back. Reckless is caught with the Dark Binding. That's bad news for him. Is he going to go down? He actually flashes away, but the Ignite's ticking. Moops gets that kill. There's a second one for Moops as well. Can they pick up any more? Do they want any more from this? They've got to, and they wanted that Dragon.
So a perfect, first of all, Grand Skyfall coming in, joining the fight, and the Dark Binding on Reckless was the key thing in this team fight. Locking him up there, they got a kill on him, and he barely did any damage because he had to flash out, and he even died after flashing.
There is the Dragon, smited out as well by Impaler, so really good job. The second of 2 Dragons of the game so far goes over to the Super Hot Crew.
And at the same time, if we go back to the fight, Source only managed to land his taunt onto Mima. He's not the target you want to lock up. We need Source to go into the backline of Super Hot Crew and hit multiple people in there, especially the Moops and Mr. Alice if he can. And then they can follow up on this. They managed to hit absolutely nothing in the backline of Super Hot Crew with any of their abilities, so they simply just lost the fight.
With a couple of different items coming in. Both of the top laners now got that Sunfire Cape in there. Gragas, the Blasting Wand, and the Athene's Unholy Grail. Similar over the other side really for Peke. Athene's Unholy Grail already done. In fact, if we look at the junglers, they're also on a similar item path.
Yeah, very actually funny enough. Everyone kind of building the same. Scaling wise, the Fnatic side will, if again they can get the right team fights, they have such a good combo for locking down targets and killing them. Super Hot Crew, they need to do what they did here. Make sure the Fnatic can never reach them in the backline, have some good Black Shield from Mixer to stop all the engage, and then simply just destroy Fnatic while they keep kiting backwards and backwards, and then jump in the end with the Grand Skyfall.
See blue buff for Peke. See if he goes home after this. Lost a lot of health doing so, and there is the recall for him. Impaler meanwhile getting some wards down on the top side of that Fnatic jungle. This middle turret being real hard so far for Super Hot Crew to actually take down, and with the orb coming out of Ahri, the boomerang coming straight out from Sivir as well, those waves just disappear.
And that's one of their bad things about Draven. You're not very good at pushing turrets together as a team. We see Grand Skyfall coming on Source in the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure he cares too much about that one. Actually, will just taunt his way out of that one, and he waits in the brush, which might actually come to cost him a little while. Draven throwing out the ultimate there. There's still a couple of minions in to tank things up for Fnatic, but not really more than 1 or 2 auto attacks able to be returned onto that lane.
And as long as Mr. Alice can avoid dying, his adoration stacks keep going up, and Move's actually going aggressive on Source.
Yeah, it needs to be a little bit careful with this one. I was going to say there's a teleport for Peke in this, and he's going to actually walk away. There's the barrel. It's only going to push them closer in the end, and there is the kill. Peke finishes off with the orb.
Very nice teleport. Super Crew were not ready for it at all. Otherwise, Move would never have gone this aggressive. It leaves the mid lane open, but Fergus is there, he can try and defend, and also Cyanide coming in from the side.
Will they be able to stop this one? Cyanide does come in, but the turret does go down. There is the Zenith Blade landing in. Can they finish things off? Yellow Star will throw down his Solar Flare. It's Mixer that will be the focus. They need to kill him before he ulti procs, and that's what they do. Meanwhile, we did see Vi go down as well. Impaler picking up that kill, and Impaler flashed away. Meanwhile, Peke taking the bottom turret while he was already down there.
And I absolutely love this kind of Fnatic, where they're going back to what worked for them at Worlds with this double global. That's a teleport on Peke, and then the ultimate onto Soaz. So this time around, first teleport to bot lane, pick up a kill for Peke's side, and then instantly after they engage in the mid lane, and Soaz just jumps in with his ultimate, and they constantly make the better team fights for Fnatic.
I think that was a wise decision to start backing away there as well. Just, I think one more auto attack, maybe two, would have taken out that middle turret, but with Mimer coming down the river and the rest of Super Hot Crew rejoining into things, that would have been more dangerous than it was possibly worth for Fnatic in the grand scheme. So let's have a look at the gold here, and again, it's really a small gap between the two teams. Around about 300 gold is all that separates, and that's just nothing.
It is more or less nothing, and it actually shows how close this game has been. Both teams are playing really well early game. We've seen very few mistakes, and only one bad team fight from Fnatic's side, which meant that Supa could get a few kills and get back in the game. But so far it's been very even, and it opens up for seeing how good Fnatic are now when it comes to rotations and calls in the mid game. Because this is where they need to shine. This is where they need to show that they can manage to out-rotate Super Hot Crew and pick the right fights.
This is the point of the game where they've struggled in previous games, well, as we said in the pre-game to this match, that's where they've really had problems in turning any kind of lead, really, or even trying to come back from games. They've just not had the power in that phase of the game, and Super Hot Crew have impressed us when it comes to that kind of thing. So certainly a difficult scenario still for Fnatic. As we said, Super Hot Crew certainly an informed team right now.
One thing we haven't touched too much on is the fact that Draven haven't died yet, which means he's constantly getting his stacks going, and he's actually building into Infinity Edge as his second item, not even going for more attack speed other than his boots. So he's going straight on to just hit very hard every single time he auto-attacks someone, and also his ultimate will do a lot of damage.
Let's have a look down some of the items while we see both teams pretty much just farming up at this stage of the game. The AD carries in particular, Bloodthirster for both of them. Last Whisper is already done for Reckless. On the other side of the things, the Infinity Edge on its way out for Mr. Rals.
Yeah, and that's the thing again, we have completely different item builds for the AD carries. One is building towards, I'm gonna kill the tanks, and the other one is building towards, I'm just gonna kill whatever comes close to me, because I'm gonna hit so hard, and if I can land a crit with such a high amount of AD, I can make everyone drop low, and the rest of my team can then finish them.
See, once he actually gets enough cash to go back and pick that one up. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's just getting themselves here in middle. No surprises really who's not with the rest of the team in the middle lane. Shen is down the bottom there, so I'm going to be pushing that one up. It's up to 164 CS, and kind of similar to his last performance actually on Shen, where he had 14 assists, 1 death, no kills. He's doing similar here, and that's the beauty almost of the Shen. Get your taunts in there, get your ultimates down, and pick up the assist, help your team.
Yeah, exactly. And now due to Mimer being top lane without any teleport, any form for global, Fnatic could actually take this mid turret fairly uncontested. So as he's just gonna keep doing this over and over again, and the more assist he gets and less amount of kills, it's actually perfect, because you don't need Shen to get kills. You don't need him to be able to carry. You need him to be this mega tank, and you need him to apply this global pressure. Now he needs to be careful though, because the rest of Super Crew is closing in on him.
Will they be able to get away from this one? There's a flash in from Moops. That's very aggressive. The rest of the team were going to be coming down from this one. Soaz will actually flash. Will he escape? Probably not now, as the barrel will knock him back into their territory. Draven coming in as well, and it is Mr. Rals that finishes off.
And that was such a good play by Supa Crew, because the dragon has now spawned, which means it's going to be a 4v5 if they started fast. If they wait, Soaz will have ultimate, and he's up in 28 seconds, and he can join down. It seems though Fnatic are just backing off and letting Supa Crew have it. Very nice move by them.
Yep, and that is going to give the gold lead swing back over to the Super Hot Crew. You look at those statistics there, 3 dragons out of 3. They've done really, really well on that objective control. They're tied in turrets at this point. Of course, every single outer turret on the map is now down. What's the next step for both of these teams?
One thing I just need to highlight before we go on to that point is the fact that Mr. Rales picked up 460 bonus gold from his Adoration stacks. He actually managed to pick up the kill onto Soaz. And that is such a huge power spike for him. And now with the dragon as well, he should be able to go back and buy his Infinity Edge and also start towards the next item.
Well, you're perfectly right with that one. There is the Infinity Edge and a pickaxe still there for that last Whisper that will be coming next for him.
Exactly, so once he picks up the last Whisper, Source, who's actually going full armor to try and lock him down, will have a very hard time even tanking him, even though he has this full armor build. And it also means, with the full armor Shen, that Moops, if he can land some barrels before the fight starts, he can do a lot of damage to Source and get him fairly low, so it's very risky for him to engage, unless of course Source is just split pushing all the time and waiting for the rest of Fnatic before joining in.
Speaking of Soaz up at this top lane, trying to bring Mima into things. Mima just going to get himself straight out of there, not messing around. Vired come up to that top side, and to be honest, Mima really tanky at this point. Got the workings of his Randuins in there with that Warden's Mail, the Sunfire, and the Spirit Visage.
And Mima is not going for any split pushing kind of builds. He's just saying, I want to be full tanky because I know Shen is going to do the same. I want to be able to survive as long as possible against this Fnatic lineup, and if he can get Pekka to use all his abilities onto Mima and he can still survive it, he's been doing the best kind of tank job he can. It's more or less just his only plan. He's not here to kill anyone, he's just here to be annoying and tank up as much damage as he can. The thing we haven't, I just noticed actually, is the DFG onto Ahri. It really signals pick comp. We want to find a target and we just want to instant kill it, pretty much no matter who it is, except for maybe Mima.
Which is something that Fnatic, I remember having an interview with Soaz, he said that's the style that we really, really love to play. Set up those traps around and just pick people off one by one. One way to get around that, though, is a lot of wards from Super Hot Crew. And we can already see, if you look at the bottom side of their jungle, it's full of Fnatic men right now that are stood on most of the wards, but they've got decent vision in there. We are actually going to see the Talisman popped here. That's going to force Reckless to pop his ultimate.
Very nice actually, ultimate by Reckless to escape. He didn't want to take any chance in this one. Now the rest of Supa crew, you want to try and go for something.
Oh, there is a Solar Flare coming down. Yellow Star is very much in trouble, but Impaler himself will go very low from this one. We see a killer piece coming down. Cyanide now the focus on the top side. Can they get onto him? There is Soaz getting slowed, but he's right at the front. He's doing his job, but will he cost him his life here? Yes, it will. Moops will actually finish that one off. Mixer went low, but he flashed back in towards that mid lane. Got away. Fnatic didn't want any more, and in the end, that's a 2-for-1 for the Super Hot Crew.
And this was Super Hot Crew during the engage. They started the fight. They wanted to fight right here. Fnatic, they need to be in a situation where they pick the targets, where they pick the fights. They were not. Every single time it's been the even fight in mid lane, or just in general even fight, Super Hot Crew have won it. This time around, they didn't get a kill onto Mr. Alice, but they still managed to get a kill on multiple other people, especially Moops, who picked up a kill.
Okay, doing some damage down on bottom lane and just recalling out before anything can really come in there. So let's have a look how that last engagement actually all went down.
Notice here again, Super Hot Crew, they are aware Fnatic is in here. They might be Fnatic actually stunning up Impaler first, but that is perfect for Super Hot Crew because they want them to go on this Pantheon and Mima. Look how much damage he took. He didn't die before Pekka actually came in from the bottom side here, managed to pick up the kill. And the Black Shield on Mr. Alice really shows priority for Super Hot Crew. They want to make sure that nothing can lock him down. This simply means from here on, they can just chase Fnatic down. And Source, he's the full tanky, he's not able to kill anyone, so he's more or less dead because the rest of Fnatic have to back away.
Mixer did get hit with a lot of damage there. We saw him right at the end just flashing away. It took him a while after coming out of that charm, but 2-for-1 very happily taken by the Super Hot Crew. Still behind in terms of kills, but ahead in towers and crucially ahead in gold at this point. Only 2,000 though. It's still not a massive difference that separate these two teams out. Again, Peke with that DFG got a needlessly large rod now added in again, waiting for those picks. He's going to get the charm on towards Impaler, but Impaler just not taking that much damage here.
But we have teleport ready on Peke, and also Source has his ultimate, so now Fnatic needs to just try and split push. But Super Hot Crew is doing a very good job of simply not making it possible for Fnatic. They just run as a team, and they constantly try and pressure Fnatic elsewhere, somewhere on the map. So Peke, he can't even go push. He needs to stay with the team for at the moment.
The Super Hot Crew. This is another way to stop those picks happening. Get all together and get in the enemy jungle, because what is Peke going to be able to pick off in this scenario? Nothing. Exactly,
and you notice how Mima and Impaler are always the two people running in first and staying in the front, because they want Peke to go on them. They want Peke to use everything he got onto the tanks, and then the rest of Super Hot Crew can just come in and pick up the kills. Just like we saw in the last fight, where Impaler and Mima simply ran into the face of Fnatic and just said, you know what, engage on us, we don't even care.
What is Super Hot Crew going to do now? I mean, we're half an hour into this game. Baron's certainly not out of the question, but with how close they are, will that happen? There is a Black Shield coming down. That's going to stop the Assault and Battery really doing anything. Talisman popped as well from Mixer. They're going to split up from this one. Soaz doesn't have the range on the taunt. Super Hot Crew just getting a ward down. A little bit dangerous.
This Morgana pick They instant locked it after the sword and the Leona and Vi being taken by Fnatic, and it simply means that every single time Mixa is near someone and they want to engage, they can't, because the Black Shield is going to be coming down and stopping all the CC. You saw here, Impaler just running away.
Pretty much the counter to Vi in that scenario. I mean, there's literally nothing that Cyanide can do once he targets in there. Oh, Black Shield on you, you're all safe. Dragon is up once again. Super Hot Crew going to be looking for it, and this time around they're taking it very quickly. Mime are actually keeping both Yellow Star and Peke busy down the bottom. That is another Dragon coming in. Will they try and pick off anyone? Yellow Star going to get stunned up. It's Mime that took most of the damage. Here comes the man drop. Is he going to get the stun in there? Talisman was used by Yellow Star to get them away, but Moops is coming around the side. Who's he going in for? He went for Peke, who used the charge of his ultimate to just get to the other side of the barrel, which actually knocked him further to safety.
Now, Fnatic was completely out of position when this Dragon started, so Supa could pick it up for free. The Grand Skyfall from Impaler wasn't in position. He put it way too, passively, so he couldn't try and catch Fnatic out, even though Moops was actually coming from the side. Smart enough though, Moops decided to use his ultimate simply to force out Pegas.
Once again, Soaz gets into the routine of just pushing straight down, this time onto that inner top lane turret, and actually doing a good job. 2/3 of the HP gone from that already. It's Moops that actually came over to defend that one. And how are they going to deal with this Shen? Because obviously they can't really take Moops up there to stop that split pushing on a constant basis and defend in other areas as well, because they'll just get caught out by a simple numbers game.
But that's the way you deal with split pushing, especially when it comes to someone like Shen, is that you go somewhere else and then you force a fight. You force Shen to teleport in so he's not split pushing anymore, and then it's just a few minions gonna hit your turret, and that's not gonna do too much. So as long as Supa Crew can keep doing what they have been doing, grouping up as 5, moving into Fnatic's territory, and then start something or at least be a threat, then Source always have to be ready to teleport in, and that's how they can stop it. The way for Fnatic though to win is simply about not starting any fights. Split pushing with Peke in one side, with Source in the other one, or actually at the moment together. Notice how Peke, he's unnoticed up there. They want someone to come up and try and clear the wave, and then they can join in. Now Yellow Star catching on Impaler.
Going on towards Impaler, but again we do see that Black Shield coming in. Impaler being saved from quite a lot of those effects coming down, but now he's a little bit out of position. They've actually gone towards Moops. There comes the ultimate out of Mix, so he gets knocked away from it, and Yellow Star will be the first man to go down. They probably will chase on this one as well. There's the man drop coming in. Who are they going to get for it? Charm lands on towards Peke. Can they keep going? There is the flash stun going down. Cyanide and Peke both below half HP. Super Hot Crew keep going for this one. Mimer it is that's going towards Peke, and here comes Mr. Rolls. Are they going to be able to get in there in time though with Reckless's position? Actually, we do see Gragas coming around the side. He's got no barrel. There's no flash available, but it might be pure damage that gets Peke. It will be. The barrel lands and they keep going. Impaler jumped off towards the minions. Fnatic finally going to back away, but they've only lost their support. Both Peke and Yellow Star are down here.
And exactly the same kind of fight. We have seen it so many times this game. Impaler is actually the one they go for when the fight starts from Fnatic's side, and that is not the right target. Now, Source being caught out.
Luckily for him, Shadow Dash was up and he just got himself straight out of there as Impaler dove his way. Walls put down by the Baron. We can see that Super Hot Crew going to be going home from this one, and I'm guessing to spend up a decent amount of cash. Actually, there's 2,400 gold for Gragas to spend. Already got Death Cap in there with the Void Staff as well.
He's a very, very scary Gragas to deal with. And we see again, whenever Fnatic picks these fights where Supa Crew are together, they simply don't get anything from it. Supa Crew, first they trade 1 for 1, but Supa Crew could just keep chasing up, picking up another kill onto Peke. And Fnatic, they don't have the damage and they don't have the tankiness at the moment to have this 5v5. They need to catch someone out, and not Impaler. They've tried now twice, Black Shield stopped it twice, put them in bad situations.
Bottom lane actually pushing up there nicely for the Super Hot Crew means that Peke first going to have to go down there. Super Hot Crew are currently gathered around by the Baron pit. Of course, Peke does have teleport. We shouldn't forget that one. Pink Ward coming down there. Mimer's going to get the better of that one. Super Hot Crew starting off the Baron. Mimer's just going to play a meat shield position here and keep them out.
And there's no vision for Fnatic. Now there is. Will Peke try and teleport in to stop this?
Well, Baron's already super low, and there it is. Super Hot Crew going to take it, and they may look for the fight. There's the Talisman pop. Mimer beasting them up at the front as the man drop comes in as well. They're going to stun out Soaz. Mimer still only at half HP actually. They get away from Mix's ultimate. There is a good solar flare. Fnatic starts to turn things around. They've caught Moops at the back. Fnatic, Peke will actually get away from this one. Super Hot Crew take the one single kill there onto Cyanide. Lots of flashing health bars, but only one kill.
And did you see the damage from Mr. Alice onto Peke? 2 hits and Peke had to flash out of the get out of the fight. He dropped down all the way to 10% from 2 hits from Mr. Alice. That is scary. This time around, Fnatic actually managed to get around Supa crew and get in from behind, but they managed to go into moves and not Mr. Alice, so it meant that it didn't actually do too much and it didn't even manage to pick up a kill. And everything for Supa crew has been working out, and every time Fnatic tries to fight, it's simply not going in their way.
So let's have a look at some more items after all that craziness went down. We can see that the Warmogs has now come in for Impaler. Brutalizer in there as well. Does have another Giant's Belt on top of it. Pretty tanky along with that Renekton.
Yeah, it's actually very smart by Impaler to more or less stack HP, because if you want to be able to be tanky versus both physical and magic damage, HP is actually the best thing you can do, because it's HP. If you go full armor, then Pekka would be able to more or less one-shot him every single fight. If he went full MR, he wouldn't be able to deal with Reckless.
Going in towards Peke. He himself has Randuin, Spirit Visage, and that Sunfire Cape, and a Chain Vest coming in as well. So we saw in that last fight, Mima just in their faces, in the middle of the Fnatic team for a good amount of time until the rest of the Super Hot crew came around from Baron.
And that was the thing we talked about earlier, how Mima went full tank. Because you want to be able to do the same job as Source, simply just being in the face of Reckless or Peke all the time, and making sure they use all the time on hitting him. Even if Mima should die, the rest of his team should have had enough time to pick up some kills themselves and then win the fight anyway.
Super Hot crew with that Baron Bus still running, moving down, and here comes the man drop right into the back. The charm will hit Mixer. They do manage to get the stun on towards Peke. He uses his ultimate to actually get away, and Mr. Rawls in the meantime threw his down, did a little bit of damage, not too much on towards Peke, but that's what they came for. The turret takedown, they've managed to get that one as well, and now with the zoning of those Gragas barrels, they're going to look to get some damage onto the in-him turret as well.
They can more or less stay here and keep Source here as well, so he can't push anywhere and just keep pushing in Fnatic all the time. Try and land a barrel from oops. He's having a lot of damage at the moment. If he hits both his barrel and his ultimate, the squishy members from Fnatic are almost dead.
Not to forget Mixer, who can, well, possibly land a Dark Binding onto anyone who's trying to defend it from the front.
And Mr. Alice just crit a minion for 1253. So let's not forget about the Draven damage. If a fight should break out and they can't get to him due to the Black Shield, he's going to be able to just destroy everyone. And look at the damage.
There is the damage coming down, and it's an ultimate use, but Super Hot crew will be happy with it. Actually, that's a good two-man taunt, but will it be good in the end for them? Cyanide going low. Turret is actually still alive. Mima probably calling for the rest of the team to come back in and deal with that one. It's Mr. Rawls that finishes it off in the end. Mima sticks it in at the front with a big tanky Renekton, staying up close and personal. Peke is at less than half HP. He needs to be real careful. There's a talisman. There's the stun. Peke is dead. There is actually the solar flare coming down, but the ultimate coming out from Mixer will lock all 3 men up in that fight. Soaz did try and get away, but now they focus Yellow Star. He was stunned up from Pantheon, and one by one, Fnatic falling from this one. Reckless is trying to get away from Mima, who's tanking up the turrets. I think he might pull this one out, but there's a double kill from Mr. Rawls from the inhibitor. Brilliant play, an ace for the Super Hot crew, and surely they can win the game here.
And Super Hot crew is just playing this teamfight combo so perfectly. Fnatic, they need to try and pick up targets. They haven't been able to because Super Hot crew has been running together all the time, and that's why they win this game.
Well, the Nexus turret's already been focused down here by the Super Hot crew. The second one is going to fall. They had to tank it up a little bit at the end, but it'll be all fine. We see 10 seconds until Peke comes back up. It's not going to be enough. Super Hot crew take down Fnatic, and the run continues on both sides of the coin for this one. Super Hot crew continue their fine run of form, but Fnatic is now 6 games without a win.